Good morning, everybody. I'm Russ Rydin. I'm the Executive Director of the South Suburban Land Bank and Development Authority. First, I just want to say thank you for everybody to come out today. This is a great event. The turnout is fantastic, so thank you for coming. I want to give a special thanks to MPC, specifically Yurnina and Brianne and Mary Sue for allowing us to be involved in this, and to Cook County because we're able to utilize some of the things they're doing, and it's very helpful to have a partner in all this. What I'm going to do is, the good news is I can kind of just say what he said, because a lot of the same things he just went over are really identical or very similar with the South Suburban Land Bank. So a lot of the things we want to look at, how we want to review things is very similar. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through those kind of things again. What I will do is talk about kind of what the differences are between the two land banks. But I would encourage a couple things, and I'll try and make this point again and again. Talk to us. Talk to myself, talk to Brian, talk to staff. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of potential things. We certainly don't have all the answers. We're all new to this. But there is always a discussion we can have and see if there's a role for one of the land banks or both. We do work well together. We are working together on a number of things, so there may be opportunities that both land banks would be involved in something, maybe not. I'm happy to defer to them. They're happy to defer to us if it makes sense. So just know that if you call Brian and it's something in the south suburbs, he may call us, or he may say, hey, maybe talk to Russ, that's more up their alley. Vice versa, I may say, hey, talk to the county, or let's bring them in on the conversation. So I just want to be clear on that and encourage you to talk to us, and after this event's over, you'll have chances for questions, but you'll come up with other things. Also, I do want to say thank you to Private Bank for putting this on. This is certainly a great venue for this. The South Suburban Land Bank, I'll show you our mission. Very similar mission statement to what the county's doing. We underlined the last portion. It's consistent with local government plans and priorities. That's really the key to how we're set up and what we do. We are made up of municipal members, so we have cities and villages that are our members, and I'll go through that in a second, but we are set up differently than the county, obviously, but we work very closely with our municipal members to identify areas that are concerned, priority areas, things like that. So to give you kind of an overview of how we're different, we are an intergovernmental agency, so we're made up through an intergovernmental agreement that's signed between our municipalities. We can work in Cook and Will County. I won't concentrate too much on Will since this is a Cook County event, but we can work in Will County. Each of the land bank members, when they become a member, they get a seat on our board. So our board, if our board members, I see Mark Miller over there, but if anybody from our board or from the towns could stand up just to show folks who they are, I would appreciate it, just so people can see. We've got members here. If you can't track me down, talk to one of them. Each one of the towns is interested in talking to developers, interested in working on different projects, so they may have things that it makes sense for the land banks to be involved in. They may not. We're happy to convey the information, get you in touch with the right people. So that's part of this too, is to get you in touch with some of these other players and begin these conversations. Like the county, we can acquire, we can hold. We probably take a little bit of a strategic difference with the county in that we're willing to do some redevelopment and renovation activities ourselves. One of the challenges in the south suburbs is kind of a lack of developers and other players we can bring in to do some of this work. So I would encourage you guys, if you're a developer, contractor, or anybody, if you're not doing work in the south suburbs, come check us out, come look. We may have something that you'd be interested in. So anybody with a city bent, please, take a look. There's a lot of things we're working on, and you might be interested. We will take occupied property. The key is really the vacant property and repurposing that, but we will take occupied. We've talked about that. We have a number of projects in the pipeline that would have occupants, so we're not necessarily afraid of that. It's just kind of a different process. We've got a quick acquisition disposition process. So it's basically a board or a committee action. So we can get answers if we're buying or selling something pretty quickly. We can always call a special meeting if we have to. So if there's something really time sensitive, we can work on that. But that's something we try to pride ourselves on, is being able to get an answer, get something under contract, close on it quickly so it can start work. We've got $2 million in funding. We've got funding like the Cook County Land Bank from the Attorney General's office, so we thank them for that. We've also started getting funding from IDA, and I think from many of the funders, it's a more efficient process to go through the land banks than maybe individual municipalities in some of these programs. So for us, we can bring together a number of municipalities, put in a joint application to IDA for abandoned property. They gave us, I believe, $550,000 approximately, but it was efficient for IDA because they could deal with us instead of 6 different municipalities and having to try and close loans and things with them. We were able to acquire residential and commercial, so we've got both in the pipeline. We have flexible parameters, so I think one thing, we're not averse to risk, so we will look at risky things and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense, we may take on something like that. And again, we work with local plans, so everything has got to go through the filter of, is this an important project and something we need to do in that specific municipality. Here's our member communities. We're able to work throughout South Cook and Will with the support of the municipality, but the folks that are listed here have all passed our intergovernmental agreement. So we have kind of special specific powers and abilities in all of these communities, and you can see we're from Blue Island out to Joliet and kind of different places in between. So a lot of different types of communities, a lot of different demographics. And here is a couple examples of properties we have in inventory now, just to give you an idea of kind of what we're looking at and what we're taking on. The property in Park Forest on the left we'll talk about later, as well as the property in Old Forest on the right. The two in the middle are donation properties. So we're taking on a lot of donations, single family, but we're also looking at larger projects that are redevelopment, true redevelopment. This property in Oak Forest here will get demolished, and it's a mixed-use housing project that's going to happen when that's done. So that'll be something we'll talk about a little bit in more depth, but we're looking at a lot of different types of properties, a lot of different projects. Like I said, please just contact us, let us know what your ideas are, and we will try and see if there is fit for the land bank. And I think that is it. There's my information. Go to our website, call me. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but just get a hold of us, and then we can talk more specifically. But we'll get into some specific transactions a little bit later today, and I think that'll give you a better idea of kind of how we look at it and what we're trying to do when we do something specifically. So that's all I have. I don't know who's next. Questions?